Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. I have another survivor one for you guys. This one I'm going to be doing Tyrone. Um, Pause the video here if you want to see the build. I'm using my best build for him, I think, overall. Even if you're playing Nikolai, I will still say this is probably the best build overall for him, like for any mastermind in general. So what I'm using here, I see there the first equipment I have the hollow points. The other three equipment is really for recovering my personal skill, and the last one there, the fourth one, helps me a little bit with my fever skill, but it's really mostly for the personal skill that I'm using all of these. You can see the power there. I have the one that takes less damage, the fever one, the rally. And I have the normal for the second perk there slot, the passive. I'm using the normal kick with the shorter cooldown because he has three variations, right? He has the side kick, the one that opens doors faster, and I'm using the first one, which is the shorter cooldown. The reason for that is because I want to combine the shorter cooldown, which is 9 seconds, with all those equipment for even faster recovery on my personal skill, which is the kick, the front kick. On the third passive there, I believe I'm using the one where he does a guaranteed critical damage when the zombie is on the floor, on the ground. He's grounded, and it also reduces the depletion of your your melee weapons, so it's really good. And the fourth one, I'm pretty sure you can use whatever you want. I believe right here I am not using the one where you get up by yourself. I don't quite remember honestly, but that's not important. What you really need is really just those that I mentioned. The shorter cooldown on the kick, and the one where he does critical, guaranteed critical when they are grounded. That's really all you need. The anything besides that is kind of besides the point here of the efficiency of the build. Luckily we got a net here because this build is really gonna shine against the net because he's all creature based, right? This build is really like kill heavy. It's all about killing the creatures. The idea is really because your kick recovers so quickly that essentially by the time you kill one creature, your kick is already going to be recovered. So you can just cycle. You know, you just kick everything you see in front of you and kill them immediately. If you do not have the equipment, you can have more damage by taking away some of the recovery speed on your personal kick ability there. However, you won't be able to use it as frequent. So if there's like a lot of creatures in front of you, sometimes you just won't be able to kick them, you know, like one after the other, because it will take too long to recover. So that's why I have this way, because the damage is still enough that you're gonna kill them very quickly. But you still have the very frequent kicking at the same time. I believe it's gets to 3 or 4 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. If you're using the build like I am using here, the recovery of the kick goes to like 3 or 4 seconds, which is essentially the time it's gonna take you to finish the kick, hit them on the floor, and by the time you go to the next creature, they're gonna be your kick is gonna be ready again. Hopefully I can demonstrate. I think really more close to area 3s when the creatures really start to show up. I was fixing something in my mic here, so that's why I'm standing still in the match, I mean. But yeah, hopefully we can get some creatures soon. I think it's more towards the end of the match here I'm really close to the creatures and everything. Also the torch is also you can use any weapon for this. If you're using, but I would recommend the torch and the sledgehammer. Those are probably the two best. You can still use the other two, like the wood thing, the wood and the steel bat, I think's the name. Those still work. You're gonna kill the zombies in no more than like 3 hits, I believe, if they're grounded. So, but you might as well. The reason why I say I recommend the torch is just because it hits them faster. So it's much more fluid that way. But the durability is also gonna be a little worse, But the passive still saves you a lot of the durability there, so you won't necessarily need like a bunch of repair kits like if you were a Samuel or something. You're still like very safe in that regard. So yeah, that's really the idea of the build, and I think you can kill like yeah, I think it takes 2 or 3 hits with the steel bat and the wood thing to kill the zombies. The animation is too slow though, so I really recommend if you have the option, just use the torch. Because on area 1, I believe you get either the steel bat or the torch as an option for buying it right away. So if you get the torch there, then just buy the torch and use that for area 1 and possibly area 2. And if you do not get the torch, you can still get the steel bat, and it's probably going to be still good enough because the creatures on area 1 and 2 are weaker, right? So it's going to be strong enough, the steel bat, that it's going to kill them in like no more than 3 hits. So the animation is a little bit slower, but you know, it will take around the same time as the torch would to kill them that way. The torch is really helpful there as well. If you get an ivy or something like that, that's something the steel bat cannot cover. However, I definitely would say the best weapon for this build is not even the torch, is the actual sledgehammer. See, like right now I just got it, which is very lucky. Sometimes if you're able to get it on area 2, that's just like perfect when that happens. But yeah, this build is definitely geared towards the sledgehammer, not so much the torch. It works with everything, but it's really geared towards the sledgehammer. As you see, you're able to kill the creatures in essentially one hit, or you know, two swings, which is essentially just one cycle of the hitting animation. Right here I'm trying to give her the torch, just so she might have some kind of weapon there if she's out of melee weapons. But there's a trick to this, you know, because I think Swing Point made something regarding this build. It's different than the one I did here. I kind of adapted to the way I think works best, like I'm showing you guys here. But it works, and he talks about using I think he calls it Tyrone or something like that, because he deals with the torch. But this build that I'm adapting here is really all for the sledgehammer. You know, works with everything, same way as his build does, but it's just that more efficient with the sledgehammer specifically. Now, we still haven't found a creature here, but soon we're gonna be able to, and I'll show you. This is what you want to do here. You want to swing. You don't want to actually do the animation where he hits them like from the top to bottom, like when he's about to hit him on the floor. You want to you need to. There's a trick. You need to aim your camera not too high, but not too low either, to where he would do the normal animation, like if he was hitting someone that's standing. But because of the way the animation of the sledgehammer is, it will still hit the ones that are on the ground. So essentially, you can hit them on the ground. You see, this is not what you want to do. Like right now, this is what you want to do. You know, you want to hit them like if they were standing, but still hitting them on the ground. That's really the idea of the build. And you'll be able to get like more than 1,000 damage with the sledgehammer. So considering you do 2 swings every time you do the animation, that is like, you know, a kill right there. It's more than 2,000 health, so any kind of creature is gonna be killed by that. Also need to consider. You see right there. That's how you swing at the ones that are on the floor. Considering as well that your kick already does like around 400 damage, so it's like you already start with that kind of damage, and then you're still doing the sledgehammer hits after. You see here with the liquor is a good example. The kick right there. You see he's dead, just like that. The kick did like 200, I think there, or 300, and those two hits with the sledgehammer was like 1,700 each. So it's like the killer just got like melted, the liquor. This is also another good thing about this build, is you can deal with bioweapons very easily, simply because of how fast your kick recovers. You can almost like be a moving flashbang, so to speak, because you're constantly stunning the bioweapons. It must be really annoying. You can do things like this where you're using the door, because he's forced to do the animation, so you essentially get a free kick on him. Right there, I was just kicking him so much to like slow him down, and because that when Birkin's moving faster like that is only temporary, so if you can slow him down, he's gonna lose his speed eventually, and it takes a long time to recover. So that's what I did there, and he just lost his I'm not sure what's it called. I think it's called enlarge, is the name of the ability, where he walks faster. So what I did there was just really stall his enlarge ability so that he would lose it before he had a chance to hit anyone. Same thing would be with Mr. X. You can do the same thing I did there with Birkin. You can keep doing constantly with Mr. X. And Mr. X takes a bigger stun than... or you can do that with Nemesis as well, to Nemesis. But they both take a stun that's longer than Birkin does by the kick, so it must be even more annoying, I would say. But yeah, it's like this build is really strong, man. And the only thing you can't do with this build is really heal your teammates too much. You see right there the way I'm hitting them? That's how you want to do it. You do not want to like actually look fully down and do that animation where he does only a single hit, because then it's not as effective. But if you do this trick where you aim the camera not too high, not too low, you're still going to you get both hits from the animation to hit them on the floor, and it just does like a ton of damage. Right here, finally in area 3, so I should be able to finally you see more examples of actually killing creatures here. Because so far it was really, this and that was barely spawning creatures, or I was really just kind of far away from the action. When you see, you still have your fever skill that's gonna charge a little faster because of the equipment there as well. So if you guys need that health or something like that, that's something you have to your advantage as well with this build. Um, Something I recommend as well when you're playing Tyrone or Samuel is always to have a gun. This is what I do. I usually grab the guns from my teammates, even if it's just the M up, instead of buying one, because this build is really focused on the melee, right? You're not going to be using guns. However, you do need some kind of a gun because if the mastermind has traps, you shouldn't be like disarming traps with your melee weapon because if they're explosives, it's going to hit you and you're gonna waste time. You're gonna lose health, so it's just really not ideal. So what I usually do, I get the weapons from my teammates that they're already wasting their money on buying, or I just get the M up, and I use that for the entirety of the game. And that way as well, if the zombies are infected or something like that, and you don't want to get close, you can also use your firearms to kill them that way. And see, that was a quick core there. You see the kick there, it did like 700. That single hit right there was like 2,100. So it's just too much damage. They're not gonna survive more than like those two first hits. You see right there, he's dead like in one hit as well. And I'm only using one of the hollow points as you saw from the build earlier. If you can, like I said, you can take off the recovery and still increase the damage, but it's just not. You don't need that high of a damage. It's much better if you can have the kick recharging faster, so you can use it more frequently. Because they have to be on the ground for it to activate, right? So that's the best way for you to make that happen is really just to have your kick ready at all times. And this match is looking like it's gonna be a pretty easy win. Like we have almost 7 minutes on the clock. It's already on the second core, and she's just spawning creatures and giving us even more time. He seems to be using the Ivy mod here. You see, he died with the kick here already. Oh, I also recommend you also run blue herbs on this build. Simply because if you're going melee only, you might get infected, especially if it's against an Alex. So you gotta have those blue herbs. You see what I mean? Like you just control completely the game with the kick here on the bioweapon. You see, he can't move because I'm constantly kicking him. It's like so dumb because he recovers too quickly. Like I was literally kicking him and destroying the core at the same time. So I don't know. And he can't really avoid my kick, because he's kind of slow and everything, so it just feels bad. Definitely did not want to be that guy. But yeah, this build is really just like kind of impossible. I mean, no creature is really gonna be a problem to you. You're Tyrone, so you have a lot of health. It's very unlikely you're gonna go down. I'm pretty sure you could also use this build with the second chance there, where you get up if you go down as well. Because that's the third slot, if I believe. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot. So the third slot, the passive perk that I'm using is the one where he cannot be grabbed when he's running. So that's something you can run as well. You can use the second chance that I just mentioned. He gets up by himself, or you can use that where you're not gonna get grabbed if you're running. Because in case you want to rush for whatever reason, you're just pretty much immune to traps, to grabs. I kind of saw this trap, but I still stepped on it. Stepped on it. I don't know why. I see that. You see what I mean here? If I don't have a gun there, I can't really deal with that trap, depending on where it's placed. So that's why I always recommend having a gun on. Never go like full melee. You see right there the way that I aim my camera so I can get the 2 hits. That's how you do it. And it's like even a Liquor. Liquor is the strongest creature, and he's like doesn't really stand a chance with this build. It's just like 2 hits and he's gone, which is essentially 1 hit, like because it's a single animation there. And you see, I always have the kick ready as well because it just recovers so quickly. But you gotta aim, you gotta practice aiming the camera properly here, so to be able to do this. And here we're really just like kind of fooling around because it's, the mastermind already gave up as well. So many sprays too. It's so dumb. It honestly feels like a net for some reason just drops way more items than normal. I don't know if the developers actually changed something and made that on purpose, but I like that animation where he slowly walks into it. And yeah, guys, this is best build for Tyrone. I mean, I honestly find it really hard to believe that you're gonna lose using this build, because your Tyrone alone can kill all the creatures by himself with this build, and because his kick is gonna stun everyone, so you know, even if it's really crowded, you know, you do one kick and like all the creatures are gonna fly away, and by the time you finish your first animation, your kick is already charged again, so you can kick them again. The ones that are not, they are just leaving the stun, the knockback from the others, from sending the other creatures flying away. So it's just really hard to deal with this build with Tyrone. And yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoy. Try it out. I pretty you're gonna agree with me that this is the best build after you play it. And take care, guys. See you on the next video.